have it already done. So, with the kids,
We are family.
We all adopt ourselves.
yes, I mean,
that's like what will work out. It's kind of like there's nothing.
so yeah, so just so close usually. So when children are like their class, that's the so it's like their class. And there's a guard. You're welcome to get a top look at it. There's a guard that you can go over. You sit down. Yeah, you can go. But the main thing is just so while the same time on the regular class, just for the kids or go to also just for the there. This is how we record. Like one of these is
And he just, oh my God, his message is like this personalized for me. And I'm like, oh my God, I found him. And I've been coming now for about 2.5 years. I'm the rec coordinator. I'm in charge of making everything happen food-wise. On Sundays, today we have this church. But every Sunday after church we meet at different restaurants. And we gather together and we talk about this and we talk about that and everything. So, you know, I didn't say today, I don't know where to take it. We went last week to Leah's. But, you know, some restaurants, you know, that we try to accommodate the lives of the country. And then vibe when you get there. It's not political. Some Unitarian churches are political. Unitarians are political. Unity is spiritual. And they have a different way of delivering the message. I don't feel the closeness. I walked in there and I gotta go. And I didn't even sit there for the message. If I can't get that mentality, yes. If I can't get this then I can't.
Yes. How wonderful.
Baby Sage!
Morning. It's your first time here? I'm Jack Bowles, spiritual director. How do you guys find out about the community?
The Vineyard Church.
On that? Yeah, okay. Oh, well, that's interesting.
Well, they wanted us to leave all denominations, atheists, everything will come in and talk out about Jesus. It's a good thing. I talked to him, spent an hour and 20 minutes with the pastor. Talked to him about it. He's good people. I'm just always, I grew up Catholic. Jesus, I love to be enlightened us to this. He's just like God bless him, he's always there. Middle East, what's going on there, it's been going on forever. Supposedly they all have the same God. There should be a church that basically says, all right, this is what Buddha had to say about it. This is what
You found the right place. I always tell people, welcome home.
I've been telling him for years, I'm like, I don't understand why. I mean, they were putting into life.
Yeah.
Jesus is the Son of God, and so are we.
Yeah. And that, the funny thing is, Jesus actually said that, but they put that on him. You know, wanting to have a Messiah, a Savior, and I feel like the answer was then that they had the same presence of God then that. Well, you were like right behind them. Well, no. You guys, glad you found your way here.
So Tim coming in. I'm
Football game with
Well, very nice. It's good to already know
pulled in a
people.
parking lot thinking I don't know nobody. It was Tim with donuts on his truck. I'm like, who's really Tim?
You're like, yeah, this is a
When
good
you go into jail, the size of unit.
I don't know. I've never back in here. If I crank it anymore, I get
Shirley, steal a baby?
Yeah.
Oh my God, okay.
It's a love hate.
Fine, how are you?
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Unity of Metairie. So happy that you're here. Join in with me this morning as we get on the love train. All over the world, join hands, start a love train. Let's get up together. People all over the world, join hands, start a love train, love train. The next stop that we make will be England. Sing along with me. Go. Tell all the folks in Russia and China too. To get on board and let this train keep on riding, riding on through. Sing it, y'all. People all over the world, join hands, start a love train. Love train, people all over the world, join hands, start a love train, all of your brothers over in Africa. Tell all the folks in Egypt and Israel too. Please don't miss this train at the station. Cause if you miss it, I feel sorry, sorry for you. Come on now, sing it out. People all over the world, join hands, start a love train, love train. People all over the world, join hands, start a love train, love train. Let it ride, let it ride. Let it ride, let it ride. People all over the world, start a love train, love train. People all over the world, join hands, start a love train, love train. He said, people all over the world, start a love train, love train. People all over the world, join hands, start a love train, love train. People all over the world, start a love train, love train. People all over the world, join hands, start a love train, love train. People all over the world. So everybody take just a moment and say hello to your spiritual family with some hugs and handshakes, y'all. Welcome, everybody. Those last hugs, y'all. Welcome, welcome, everybody. All right, welcome, everybody, to Unity of Metairie. So awesome to be here with my spiritual family today. I'm Jack Fowler, the spiritual director of this wonderful group of people. We're so glad that you're here. This is my vacation day, but here I am with all of you all today. Actually, I was speaking out of town today, and that got rescheduled. So we have some wonderful surprises today. We have a wonderful talk by Paul Martinez. We have some other people participating in the service and a beautiful meditation by David Harrison. So welcome, everybody. Do we have anybody here for the very first time? I know I talked to a couple people. We have a packet we'd like to give you. And that inside that packet, it will tell you all about what Unity does globally and what we do right here in Metairie and beyond. And also there's a little card on the back of it. When you get that packet, if you wouldn't mind filling out this little card and let us know what you thought about the service. You can just drop that in the offering at the end, and our Bill's down a light today. He'll give you a pen to fill that out. And we welcome everybody also on Facebook, live streaming all around the world. We welcome you if you're watching. Y'all, let's give them a hand if they're watching us today. Send some love and some energy out. So anybody that's watching us, we welcome you. We honor your presence here. Just as much as everyone sitting in this room, we know that the power and presence of love extends beyond the boundaries of this room and this time and this space. And we welcome you to our service today. Please come and visit us sometime. We are now starting next week. What time? 10:30. We're starting our new time. So if you are watching us on Facebook and you're coming to visit, make sure you come on time next week. We have a waffle breakfast before that at 9:30. It's going to be an awesome time. Also, if you're watching us today on your computer or your laptop or whatever you're watching us on, if you'd like any information about Unity, feel free to leave your phone number or your information in the comments section. We'd also like to thank Joan, who is talking to everybody on Facebook today. And saying hello. It's fun. When I'm away, it's so much fun to watch the service from afar and see all the little neat comments and the hearts that fly across. It's kind of cute. It's kind of neat. So Unity, if you're not familiar with Unity, Unity is not another religion. We don't need one of those. Unity is a philosophical way to live. Unity began as what we would call practical Christianity, where we take the teachings of Jesus and actually put them to use. What a concept. The main one of those being love. And we honor all religions. We honor all spiritual paths. We all honor all lifestyles. Everyone is welcome. We believe that there is a divine presence within all living things. And we're here on a journey to unfold that presence within us and unbecome all the things that we are not. You were born as a beautiful, precious child of God. Sometimes we forget that. And we're here today to chip away all those false ideas about ourselves and see that beautiful presence within. So we do welcome you. Talking about a beautiful presence within, I'm going to bring Nicole up. Do we have any other kids here today? Would you go and stand up front? All right, here comes Sophia. I'm going to get her the piano. All right. Settle here. Reminder to everyone that we have a wonderful youth program that happens during our service on Sunday. And so as part of our service, we bless our children. Not only these children, but the children all around the world recognize that within them there is a power and a presence and a life. The very power and presence of God. And we give them this blessing this morning as a reminder of who they are. Say with me today, children of light, we bless you. We see you loved, guided, and protected by God's presence. And of course, New Orleans style. We love you hard, hard, hard. We swear to God. All right, y'all, let's give it up for our kids. And we appreciate all of the volunteers that work with our children's program and for Paul and Brenda for creating a curriculum where they learn these life-affirming principles. I always like to think about, I believe it's all good and we're all on the perfect path, but sometimes I like to think about, what if I had been taught these things at that age? Wow. What a difference would have made in my life. But I'm grateful for my path. I'm grateful from where I came. And I'm grateful for my continued journey. And so we bless these children. If you wouldn't mind, go ahead and silence your cell phone or anything else that might make a noise so we can create a sacred space together. Let's all just take a deep breath, becoming centered here in this moment. Grateful that we have come together in the name of love. Grateful knowing that within us there is a power. There is a presence. There is a life. that is more powerful than any of our circumstances, any situations in our lives, or anything that's happening globally or in our country. There is a power within us that is greater than all these things. It is this power of love that heals, that transforms. We're so grateful to know that no matter where our path has taken us, that in this moment we are exactly as God created us, whole, perfect, complete. So grateful for this time together. We're here to remind each other of our magnificence. We're here to remind each other that within us there is a power, there is a love. There's a place within you in this moment where nothing is impossible. So as we breathe in with gratitude and say, thank you, God, for this holy time together. As we come together in the name of love, all together reminding each other on our spiritual journey. So we begin our service with a reading from the Daily Word.
Sunday, September 30th, 2018. Work, play, rest, and prayer are balanced in my life today. Creating a new dimension of consciousness, one that Jesus called the kingdom of heaven, is my purpose as I move through the day. Achieving that goal requires time and commitment, and I do what is mine to do with gratitude and appreciation. However, rest, relaxation, and prayer are also elements that are vital to my spiritual well-being. My mortal mind tends to overemphasize negative, fear-based challenges at the expense of the light and love that fill even my gloomiest days. Balance occurs when I surrender my mortal mind to the infinite mind of spirit within me. There I will find my day perfectly balanced in rewarding and surprising ways among work, rest, relaxation, and prayer. Today's daily word is inspired by Ecclesiastes 3:10-11. I have seen the business that God has given to everyone to be busy with. He has made everything suitable for its time.
So we take these words within, opening our hearts, opening our minds, willing to listen, willing to learn, willing to surrender and let go of those things that no longer serve us. In this holy, beautiful, and precious moment, we come together in the name of love. We come together in this moment. We bind our hearts and minds, for we all form a tapestry, woven from one life, one creation, undivided, all unique expressions of God. We come together now in one accord. We come together in this moment. We bind our hearts and minds, for we all form a tapestry, woven from one life, one creation, undivided, all unique expressions of God. We come together now in one accord. One creation undivided, one creation undivided, all unique expressions So this morning, as we enter into a deeper time of prayer and meditation, I'd like to invite David up. Begin to relax. Begin to let go of any thoughts, any worries. Begin to breathe deeply, become centered here and now, knowing that everything that you need is right here in this moment. Everything you need is within you. So I invite you just to surrender to this holy instant, to this time, here and now.
Just let yourself go, relax, take a deep breath, fill up your entire lungs. Let go of the exhale very slowly. Just continue breathing, allowing yourself to let go of anything that has happened before we entered the room today. Let go of the past. Just allow yourself to enter this sacred space. Not trying to become anything. Just letting go and entering in this moment. Take another inhale to allow any stress and strain to slip away. Allow your focus to begin moving within. Just focus on this moment. Focus on how peaceful, how serene you feel. Just allow any of the chatter in your mind to slip away. Just letting yourself really go deep. You are connected to God and the universe through creation, through spirit, through even the space between us. We are one. Just take another deep inhale now. Release anything of the future. Let it go. There is only one moment. This moment. Allow the peace of mind to come up within you. Remembering that the love of God is in your heart. The presence of God goes before us to face any situation that we have in life. Anything we're going through at this moment, God goes before us to straighten those crooked places. Whatever test that you're facing, you have the courage, the strength, the ability, the wisdom, and the knowledge to get through it, to overcome it. Just trust in this moment. Trust in the presence of God within you. Trust brings us peace and contentment. want you to send that love to everyone in this room. See the light of God within them shining from their very being, from their very mind, from their very consciousness. Feel it from the love that is radiating from their emotions. Now, as a group, let's extend that love to the entire world, to every man, woman, and child living on planet Earth. Let us say with the depth of our heart that we love you, we care for you, we will provide for you. And the earth has provided for us, and we give thanks for all that we have, all that we give, and all that we receive. Just be centered in this peaceful and loving presence with Him. There is only this moment, this place, this time, this experience. Let everything else fall away. You're an amazing light for this world. Each thought of love that you generate generates a field of love that extends outward. And what you give, you shall receive.
And from this place of stillness, we say thank you, God, as our hearts are open, our minds are open. May everything that needs to be said today, and everything that needs to be heard, be heard. Thank you, God. And so it is. Amen.
Good morning. I gotta be honest, I've been real nervous about this one. But thank you, David, because what he did just now is a big part of what I'll be talking about. And we're going to do it again at the end, and hopefully you'll see why I've come to this. This isn't the talk I planned for this week. Over the last 2 weeks, I was working on another one, which I'll use later. But after witnessing what we saw in the Senate hearings this week, and beginning to really, more and more seeing that great divide that we have in our country right now, that over Coffee Friday, Brenda and I were talking, and it hit me. I think we need to address this. Or put it, being political without being political. Because there is a big divide in this country right now. A divide that people have taken sides. One group saying, I'm right, you're wrong. The other group saying, no, we're right, you're wrong. And the divide keeps getting bigger, and that divide is even more and more now filled with fear, anger, and hate. And we see this within so many issues. Republican versus Democrats. Conservative versus Republicans. Pro-Trump people versus anti-Trump people. We see it in the issue of immigration. We see it in the issue of gun control. We see it in all the issues surrounding the LGBT plus issues. And it seems that the divide is getting wider and wider. And my God, did we see it this week. You know, the division that we see so blatantly on the two sides of the Senate hearings of Judge Kavanaugh. And then the whole testimony of Dr. Ford and how people respond to each of those. But I think what got to me the most, what scared me the most, was that in the midst of this, both Judge Kavanaugh and Dr. Ford had death threats made against them. When I heard that, it was like, what? Have we gotten to that point that if somebody disagrees with us, we kill them? I started doing some reading on this. And a number of journalists, historians, political scientists are all beginning to agree that right now in our country, we have the largest divide since the Civil War. In fact, they're calling it, interesting term, that we are in the midst of a cold civil war. And their fear is that it will heat up and become a hot civil war. And I feel so helpless. Because anytime you go to talk about any of these issues, it seems these days it ends in disagreement. People trying to prove you wrong and you trying to prove them right. And nothing productive happens. It's like, for example, on the immigration front. It's either we let everybody in or we let nobody in. Nobody's talking about, is there a compromise? Is there something we can do to keep our country open for people to share in the freedom, yet at the same time protect ourselves? The gun control issue. It's either let everybody have every single weapon they want, no matter how powerful or dangerous, or we got to take guns away from everybody. And nobody seems to be talking about what can we do to keep the right to bear arms, yet protect ourselves from some of these horrendous events that take place. And it just seems that that divide is getting wider and wider and filled more and more fear, anger, and hate. So I had to sit back, and this is really just over the last couple of days, a lot of talking with Brenda about what can I do? And I realized that I no longer want to do anything or even participate in any discussion or dialogue that ends up us versus them. Me trying to convince you, you trying to convince me. That unless the dialogue is people listening to each other, respecting each other, and trying to understand each other, and come to some conclusion and compromise that everyone can live with, I don't want to be part of it anymore. And I realize that the only response to that is silence. Now, some people are going to say, oh, that's copping out, that's avoiding the issues. I'm saying, no, it's not. And I did a bunch of reading on the idea of silence. And I just want to read a few of the quotes from some of the wise people we've heard from in the past on what they say about silence. Rumi, who we hear a lot about, said, "Silence is the language of God. All else is a poor translation." Lao Tzu said, "Silence is a source of great strength." Sir Francis Bacon, "Silence is sleep that nourishes wisdom." And the next two are from one of my favorite authors throughout history, Anonymous. "Sometimes it's best to stay quiet. The silence can speak volumes without ever saying a word. And silence calms my soul." The Wiccan fourfold law says, to know, to dare, to will, to keep silent. Ram Dass, the quieter you become, the more you can hear. Euripides, silence is true wisdom's best reply. And my favorite one at this time is an old Arabian proverb. The tree of silence bears the fruit of peace. So that's what I've decided I'm going to do. I'm not going to be part anymore of any of this discussion between these two sides that are leading to all this anxiety and hate and anger on both sides. That's why I call this a political talk without being political. It's all around. The different sides of all these issues have gotten so intolerant and so angry at each other. It's like whatever side you're on, you say the other side is ruining our country. I'm sorry, I believe what's ruining our country is that anger, that hate, and that fear that's between the two sides. And so for me, I see silence as a way to maybe bring about more wisdom and more peace. So I'm going to avoid any of these discussions. And if I'm in a group where it begins to turn into that, I'm going to go silent. That's what I plan to do personally. That's after witnessing what I witnessed this week. For me, the only option left is the wisdom of silence. In fact, I call this talk the movement of silence. Imagine beginning a movement where people begin to remain silent instead of participating in the speech that leads to such negative emotions and feelings. Then for me, it flows into the second aspect that I'm planning to do more, is that silence for me leads to meditation. There's been a bunch of scientific studies, I love it now, that science is proving so many of these spiritual concepts that we have held for centuries. And science now is backing it up. And one of those is meditation. They've done and replicated this experiment in different areas. In crime, in terrorism, and things like that. They've gotten groups together simply to meditate. And they began to discover that while that meditation was going on, for example, one of the experiments took place in Detroit, that while that group was meditating, crime dropped by 12%. And when they stopped meditating, it began to rise again. They've replicated other parts of the world where groups were meditating in and out, people replacing each other for, I think, like a week straight. And acts of terrorism decreased. I believe meditation works and can do that. And so I'm going to start using that myself. I'm going to meditate. And just like David did so beautifully a little while ago, bring that love and peace and fill myself with it. If I'm by myself or if I'm with a group. And once I fill myself and feel that love and peace within myself, like David just did, and we're going to do again in a few moments, I'm going to release that to the world. Not to any specific group, not to any specific person, but to the world, knowing that it's going to make a difference. Knowing that if more and more people begin to meditate on peace and love and send that peace and love out to the world, that maybe that love and peace will begin to replace the hate and anger and fear that is there now. And when we do that, there's no words necessary. We don't have to tell anybody we're doing that. Most people probably won't believe it anyway, but we will know that if we experience that love and peace within ourselves and send it out there, hopefully one day we'll start seeing dialogue again. We'll start seeing communication. We'll start seeing respect. And maybe then, as a country, we can come to decisions that will benefit all people and no longer live in fear and anger and hatred, but to truly live in love and peace. That's what I'm planning to do for myself. And so I guess I'll warn everybody, don't try to engage me in a political discussion anymore. Because, tell you now, I'm going to go silent. Because it doesn't help these days. It only adds to all those negative feelings. when I go silent, I'll be within myself, and even there beginning a life-form meditation, sending out love and peace. I want to do that again now, because even though David did it so beautifully, I think doing something similar again is only going to add to what we've been doing. And announce now that Brenda and I have decided that instead of teaching a class on this Tuesday, we're going to get anybody who wants to come, we're going to gather and do the same thing. We're going to meditate together and then send that love and peace out into the world to be freely used in whatever way the divine and individuals see fit. So I ask you all to get comfortable. And it starts off with a song that I'm sure y'all will recognize. And then a few moments with some music where we will work on building that love, building that peace, so we can send it out.
There is peace in the silence. There is peace in the silence. There is unspoken joy. In the silence, there's from a world full of chaos and noise. So I wait for these precious moments when I hear all that could never be said in writing. In this holy silence, I find God, I find myself. In the silence, there is peace. In the silence, there is unspoken joy. In the silence, there's release from a world full of chaos and noise. So I wait for these
filling your whole being. Let it continue to build. And in a few moments, when I say release, through some gesture and or sound, release that energy of love and peace to the world. And release. Thank you. One thing that I notice when I do that, all the love and peace doesn't leave. There's still more than enough left over. I really believe that if we begin to practice more of love and peace within the wisdom of silence, that in itself will make a difference. Amen. Blessed be. Namaste. Thank you, Paul. Yes. It was interesting. I just went and sat and took it all in. It's really great to be at church and not have to do much. It's kind of fun. I could get used to this. Maybe we should find out a minister and I'll just come sit around. If you don't know, the song that Paul played comes from one of my CDs, so I thought, well, that voice sounds familiar. Is it the voice of God? It's me. And if you're a creative person, you realize what can come from the stillness, not only that immense love and peace, but also great creativity and solutions to problems and answers. And that song came like that as a beautiful gesture right from the stillness. So, and thank you once again, Paul. I think it's something that we all needed to hear today. I'd like to invite Red to come up. We don't do this every Sunday, but I thought it appropriate with what Paul spoke about today. As I mentioned earlier, unity is just a philosophy. It's a way to be, a way to live. There's not a lot of rules except to listen to Spirit and figure out what God is telling you to do. And that's difficult for some of us because there's one thing if we have a religion that tells us what to do, it kind of makes it easy. However, for many of us, that's not fulfilling because we know that there's something bigger and greater to be expressed. And so this morning, we're going to take a moment to honor our world's religions, knowing that God is present everywhere. God is present in every group, in every sanctuary, in every church, and even if someone's with St. Mattress this morning, it doesn't matter. Wherever we are, God is. So take this in with me this moment as we open our hearts and minds to accept the uniqueness of all spiritual paths. Native American practice is the path of honoring the earth and all beings. Shintoism is the path sensitive to nature's spiritual forces, honoring sacred spirits of ancestry. Hinduism is the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. Sufism is the path of daily communion with God. Christianity is the path of love and forgiveness. Taoism is the path of meditation and contemplation, focusing on the inner harmonies of the universe. Confucianism is the path of deliberate tradition. Islam is the path of submission to the will of God. Baha'i is the path of peace and unity. Judaism is the path of living by sacred law.
Buddhism is the path of compassion, detachment, and mindfulness. Paganism and Wicca both see the sacred in nature as well as the individual soul and seek understanding of the evolution and mystery of the universe. Unity is the path of empowerment and change through our conscious co-creation with Spirit. We also light this candle that stands alone because in the midst of all these separate candles, there's one candle that unites us. We here at Unity believe that within every living being there is the presence and light of God. Sometimes we call this the Christ consciousness. Sometimes we call it Spirit. You can call it Uncle Charlie if you want, it doesn't matter. Because within all of us, this candle here represents that Christ presence that many spiritual masters have shown us in the world as they've been here with us and walked our world to teach us and to show us. All of them said a few things that were important. They said, within me and within you is a power greater than that in the world. And in some form or another, they all said that true love is the answer. And so this candle represents that oneness, the singularity, the presence, the power that is within each and every one of us this morning. That presence is within you. If you do it or not, it doesn't matter. It is within you. It came packaged with you. You are it, and it is you. And so knowing this, we honor these religions, we honor all spiritual paths, we honor every individual as we see them blessed, walking the path unique to them this morning. And we say, thank you, God. So we come to the part of our service where we give to our spiritual community. If you came in, you probably got one of these little sheets. It's a calendar that tells you all that's going on here during the week. And also, with transparency and clarity, we also have our financial information that you can see on there as well. You're welcome to take that with you and use that during the week to see what you're inspired to give as we expand and grow our spiritual community. With gratitude, knowing that there is a law of abundance. There's a flow of abundance. As we open our hearts and allow, our life becomes abundant. Not only in finances, but in relationships, with our career and our job. We are meant to live an abundant, precious, prosperous life. And so this morning as we give with a grateful heart, saying thank you, God, for this beautiful place we call Unity of Metairie. That is a great, wonderful idea in the mind of God. We are here as a light for anyone that is looking to find and to remember that within them there is this power greater than any circumstance of our lives. So if you are hurting this morning, emotionally or physically, know that everything is temporary, and within you is the power to heal. Within you there is a power that is greater than anything in this world. And so as we give to support our spiritual community this morning, we say thank you, God, not only for what we have, but who we are. We give here at Unity as an act of giving and bring our tithes and offering forward and drop in the basket here. And as you do, you can also pick up an affirmation out of this basket to take with you throughout the day to help remind you. And if you're giving with a credit card, you can meet Bill in the Welcome Center where you came in. He can accept that from you there and also give you an affirmation. So with a grateful heart, let's give this morning as we sing together. And we say, thank you, God, that we are prosperous. Thank you, God, that we are abundant as we give this morning. Grateful, grateful, I am grateful for all that I am, I am grateful, I am grateful, grateful. I am We are grateful to everyone that gives to our spiritual family, whether it be through tithes and offering, through volunteering, through those that cook today, those that work in the office, those that work with our children, everyone on sound and lights. We appreciate everyone that gives to the spiritual community. We are abundant, a holy, precious idea in the mind of God, and so it is. Thank you, God. So we have some really wonderful things happening here next week, which, by the way, you probably heard me say it a couple times, many times actually. Next week on Sunday is my birthday, October 7th. I will be accepting presents from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. Credit cards accepted. Actually, it really is my birthday, but even bigger than that is we're having what we're calling the grand reopening of Unity of Metairie. We've already been doing some changes in our service just to be always moving and growing and evolution. We're going to have more people involved with the service. And all of you that have signed up for different things that you would like to help with the service, I'll be contacting you this week as we start integrating that in. We appreciate David for doing the meditation today, and Red for helping out, and the wonderful talk by Paul as well. So next week is going to be a big week, not only because it's our grand reopening, but we're changing our time to what? 10:30. And let me tell you real quickly why I'm doing that. As I travel my 1 weekend a month when I'm usually away, I've been in a couple of spiritual centers that start at 10:30, and there was just something great about being done and out and headed to lunch by 11:45 or even sooner, even by 11:30 in some cases. And it just felt right and it felt good, especially as the hardcore Saints fans get upset if we go past noon and there's like a rivalry going on here. So anyway, it's a great way for us to get things going. We're also going to start having sort of what we used to call a Sunday school class, a book discussion class at 9:30 as well. Also, next week at 9:30, we're having a waffle breakfast. We have a group of people who are giving up their time. For just $5, you can get a fresh waffle with some toppings. So come early, eat, enjoy yourself. It's going to be a big day, and we just invite you to invite your friends, invite everybody you know, and join us. It's going to be a really special day. Once again, everyone that's here for the first time, we welcome you, and we honor your presence here, and so glad that you joined us. Make sure and fill out that little card on the back, if you wouldn't mind, and let us know what you thought about the service. And also, everyone needs to make sure and fill out this little thing that says new to Metairie. Not only if you're new, but if you need to get our newsletter, make sure and get your name on that, your email address. You can find out and keep in touch with what all is going on. We got some really great things planned. But we do honor your presence here, everyone that's here for the first time. We believe that everything happens exactly as it should. So you're just right where you need to be. So welcome. A few things during the week we have every week. Tuesday night is our spiritual education night, and Paul mentioned normally there's a class of some sort, and what a great idea Paul and Brenda are doing this week on Tuesday, just coming together just to focus and meditate and contemplate on those powerful, powerful inner qualities of love and peace and send those out into the world. And so join them Tuesday at 7 p.m. Also, Wednesday night is our what we call our Faith Lift night. If you're having a struggle, which, you know, when I leave here on Sunday, I'm like, high and feeling good and really in touch with that divine presence. And sometimes in the middle of the week, I'm like, hey, what's happening here? And Wednesday night, we come together for an entire hour of meditation. I lead that and with some music and some guided words. We do that for an hour at 6 p.m. every Wednesday. And right after that, I facilitate a discussion on a book called A Course in Miracles, which is a spiritual path for many people. But it's a spiritual discussion of all sorts, so everyone is invited. No experience is necessary. Also, Monday night, we've started a new thing. I don't see Catherine here today, but Catherine is very experienced in Eastern philosophies, etc. And on Monday night at 5:30, she is having a gathering where she's going over and using a lot of Eastern philosophy and practices like Ayurveda and pranic breathing and some light yoga for just an hour or so. It's a great way for mind, body, and spirit, focusing on the Eastern religions and Eastern mysticism. So meet her tomorrow night at 5:30 right here in the sanctuary. We give into the community. We give to Second Harvest Food Bank. If you would like to give, this month is oatmeal and cereal. So bring your favorite oatmeal or cereal, drop off in the back, and at the end of the month we give this. This is such a great way to give into the community. And they're telling us they need extra because of Florence. They're sending a lot of food out. So anything that you can do to help, even beyond the oatmeal and cereal, bring it, and we'll make sure it gets to where it needs to be. We have our daily word that you heard Red speak of earlier in the service. This comes from our home office, Unity Village, close to Kansas City. It's for 2 months worth of early morning or whenever you want to do it, daily devotions to get the day going right. We have these available in our bookstore for just $5 a piece, so make sure and pick up one of those if you would like that. We have CDs of today's service if you would like to take that home with you. They're just $5 also out in the Welcome Center if you want to share it with someone or listen to it again. I know you smell this food, so we're not having lunch bunch today. We are eating here. We have a wonderful tradition of every month that has 5 Sundays, we have the 5th Sunday feast. So everyone's welcome to stay. And if you're here for the first time, normally everyone chips in and pays $10 instead of going out to lunch. And this is not a potluck. This is what chefs have prepared for us, our Unity chefs, quote. But if you're here visiting, you're welcome to stay and let it be our gift to you if you'd like to stay and eat with us. We're going to take a moment right now after the service and set up some tables so we can all socialize, get to know each other, and eat some of this delicious food. And like I said, it's entree, a dessert, and a drink for just $10. You're welcome to give more if you'd like. This is a fundraiser for us. So instead of our lunch bunch where we go to a restaurant, this is a way for us to fellowship and raise some money for some of the great things that are going on here at Unity of Metairie. So I think that is just about it. Anybody else know of anything else that I have missed? That's enough. I am so excited next week. Last Friday, I got to go see Aladdin at the Sanger Theater, the musical, the Disney movie, which I can't believe that was 26 years ago when that came out. Like, wow. Robin Williams was the genie, if you remember. Well, they made it to a musical, and it was really great. And I noticed it this time. There's so many spiritual things in this movie, and I love at the end when they're going off on the flying carpet, which was, I still don't know how that carpet flew around in Sanger Theater. I'm like, wow, something's happening here. My eyes deceive me. But the song, A Whole New World, and some of the lyrics in that are really metaphysical and, just really beautiful. So that's going to be my talk next week, so make sure and be here, and I'm already excited about it and have some ideas. We may even watch some of the movie. So thanks once again for joining us, everyone, today. And we'd like for you to stand as we sing our song by John Scott, who has been here to visit us many times. Knowing that all is well, life is good, we are truly blessed. We know this is the truth, no matter what is presenting itself in the world, that everything is working out exactly as it should. And so this is a song affirming that. We know that it is true, and sing along with us today. And if our kids would like to join us as well, have them come out. Or anybody wants to get on the mic, come and sing. What a great affirmation. Here we go. All is well, life is good, and I am truly blessed. And all is well, and life is good, and I am truly blessed. I'll let light shine so that everyone can see. I'll let love divine daily flow through me. Oh, and all is well, and life is good, and I am truly blessed. Yeah, yeah. And all is well, and life is good, and I am truly blessed. Let me be the change. Let me be the change. Oh, the change we want to see. And let harmony daily flow through me. Daily flow through me. And all is well, and life is good, and I am truly blessed. Yeah. And all is well, and life is good, and I am truly blessed. All right. All is well, and life is good, and I am truly blessed. All is well, and life is good, I am truly blessed. All is well, and life is good, I am truly blessed. All is well, and life is good, I am truly blessed. I'll let light shine so that everyone can see. I'll let love divine y'all. And all is well, and life is good, and I am truly blessed. Yes, yes. All is well, and life is good, and I am truly blessed. I am truly blessed. I am truly blessed. We'd also like to thank everyone that watched us today on Facebook. Please come and join us sometime if you would like. And you are also able to give if you would like to support our vision of co-creating a world that works for everyone, which works so well with Paul's talk today. There's a link right below what you're watching in the post that you can simply click there securely and easily and give and donate to our ministry. We thank everyone that gives as you receive this love watching our service today, and so grateful that you joined us. I have to say, we're so grateful to see Leslie, who had moved to Charlotte, such a vital part of our congregation. So glad that you're home. Welcome home. We've missed you so much. And also glad to see Rick here today, and getting better every day. So, and everyone, just so grateful that you joined us today. Please stay and have some lunch with us. So we leave today with our prayer for protection, if you'd like to say with me. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. All right. Have a great afternoon, everybody.